What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today we just got an update of a bunch of things that are going on, and one big piece of news, and that is Season 3 for Black Ops 6 and Warzone has been delayed by a couple weeks. So that's going to be the main topic of the video, but before we get into that, there was also a minor update that went live this morning that addressed a few issues. The first of which was the one that prevented in-match gunsmith access, so editing attachments on your gun. You couldn't do that at least easily while in a match for the past several days at least. Like over the weekend we've been dealing with this issue. And there was technically a workaround for this, but it was really frustrating to have to go through all that for such a basic and important piece of functionality in the game. They also addressed issues with some in-game notifications not displaying correctly. Then for the tracked and near completion challenges, they're now going to be sorted by completion percentage. For the tracker perk, they fixed a bug where it was unintentionally outlining pinged enemies. And this is something I covered a little while back in my video where pinged enemies did have this red outline attached to them. You couldn't see it through walls, but it would help you see them in like dark environments. However, what I noticed is the tracker perk still seems to have maintained the massive buff in that there's basically no cooldown between pings now. So you can sweep across several enemies and it will still ping all of them. They just won't be highlighted in red anymore. So tracker is still noticeably buffed compared to before the Season 2 Reloaded update. They've also temporarily disabled the weapon raise animation when respawning due to a visual issue, which I'm fine with that. They can get rid of that animation entirely, and I'm totally cool with that. Then on Bullet, the sliding doors can no longer be opened by shooting them. And then finally, they just mentioned various stability fixes. Now, a key thing that I was really hoping to see in this update when I noticed that they had an update was a fix to forward intel and possibly other perks not working properly when you get into a game. And I checked after this update, and this issue is still present. If you use forward intel, you might notice that it's not actually activating for you. Your minimap's not zoomed out, the enemies are just showing as dots and not arrows on the minimap. And in case you are experiencing this, just a reminder, there is a current workaround for this that works most of the time, but you have to do it every single time you spawn into a match and every time you switch classes as well. You have to go edit your class in the middle of the match, switch away from forward intel in the perk 2 slot, and then switch back to it, and then it should activate for you. It doesn't work every time, but it does work most of the time in my experience. At the end of the day though, I was quite frustrated to see that they didn't get that one fixed, because that is a direct gameplay related bug, and it's been around since the Season 2 Reloaded update, with still no acknowledgement that it even exists. But with that little update out of the way from this morning, now let's talk about the Season 3 delay. For those that weren't aware and maybe haven't been paying attention, Season 2 was supposed to end in about 2 weeks and Season 3 was supposed to pick up right where it left off. But today, Call of Duty confirmed that that has now been delayed until April 3rd. So we're gonna have to wait 2 extra weeks to get Season 3. And in their tweet, they mentioned Season 3 is a big moment for Call of Duty Warzone and Black Ops 6, and we're taking the time to deliver a great experience starting on April 3rd. More to come following Call of Duty Warzone's 5th anniversary next week. So at first, especially as a Call of Duty content creator, I was pretty disappointed to see this. It's going to be quite a long month since we'll now have to wait an entire month from today before Season 3 drops. And if I remember correctly, we've already got all of the playable content that we're going to be seeing for the rest of the season. So for an entire month, there's no new gameplay content aside from maybe like limited time playlists or something. So there's really nothing important or new to expect over the next month for the game that already feels pretty stale for a lot of people. However, like they said in the tweet, it's a big moment, especially for Call of Duty Warzone. For those that aren't aware, Season 3 is going to be the return of Verdansk, the original COD Warzone map, and it seems like they're going to be making a lot of changes and adjustments. And yes, it is a big moment. It really seems like, at least from an outsider's perspective, it seems like a lot of the hype and interest has totally died off for Warzone. They've lost all momentum as far as I can see, and things don't seem to be going well over there at all. So bringing Verdansk back, I think, is meant to be that big moment that they're hoping will turn things around for Warzone. And I really think they need that big moment at this point. And honestly, I'm looking forward to the return of Verdansk. I haven't played Warzone in years. And yet, when Verdansk comes back, I'm actually looking forward to hopping in and trying it out. Now, do I think that's going to mark my big return to Warzone and I'm going to stick with it? Probably not. I think they would have to do something really special to keep me around. But I'm at least intrigued by the idea of Verdansk coming back, and I think there will be a lot of others like me that have fallen off the game over the past several years. We did like Warzone really early on, and they're trying to hit on that nostalgia, and it'll at least get us to come back and check things out. So I think it's very important that they get things right. Because if I come back to that for the first time in years and it's a total unplayable buggy mess, then of course there's no chance I'm sticking around beyond that. And there will be many others like me. So it is very important that they get this absolutely nailed down. The big question here for me though is what's going to happen with Black Ops 6? Did they just include that in there so that Black Ops 6 players don't feel left out? Or is this actually going to be a big moment for Black Ops 6 as well? Can we expect some really big changes for Black Ops 6? Maybe a bunch of new content, like a really big content drop? I know last year with Modern Warfare 3, Season 3 was huge. We had 6v6 maps for Season 3. So maybe we're going to be seeing something like that this time around for Black Ops 6. I do think it's a similar story, maybe to a lesser degree than Warzone, but I think it is a similar story that Black Ops 6 could really use some life breathed into it as well. So I am curious to see what they're going to be doing on the Black Ops 6 side of things. There's also definitely a part of me that's skeptical and thinks that this delay is purely for the Warzone side of things and the fact that this is such a big moment for Warzone, and therefore multiplayer players just have to deal with this delay, and we're really not going to be getting anything extra or special because of this delay. However, time will tell on that. Overall, my mindset when it comes to delays in video games is I would rather they delay something and get it right and launch it right and not buggy, not a big mess, then launch it on time, but broken, and then take several weeks to get things on track, which is how I'm currently feeling about the Season 2 Reloaded update, with that forward intel bug still present. So as frustrated as I am as a content creator having to wait those extra couple weeks, I'm fine with a delay as long as it means that things are going to be launching in a good state for Season 3. But this is where the other side of the coin when it comes to my opinion comes in, and that is when things do get delayed, my expectations for that update or for that game that has been delayed are now going to be higher. If you're taking that extra time to make sure you're getting it right, then you better get it right. So time will tell on that. I am looking forward to seeing what we're going to be getting, especially multiplayer-wise, for that Season 3 update. I am hoping it is going to be a big season content-wise, and maybe even some big gameplay-related changes that are going to mix things up a little bit, like maybe the addition of Specialist, which I made a video about recently. It did leak that we may be seeing something like Specialist come to the game, but it is unconfirmed at this point. Also, like I said, I'm actually kind of looking forward to hopping back into Warzone for the first time in years with the return of Verdansk. This is actually the first time I've had any interest in even considering coming back to Warzone, so we'll see how that one plays out. And then finally, when it comes to content on this channel, I am going to be stretched a little bit thin over the next month because with no new content, that is going to limit what I have available to make videos on. So over the next month, you might see me branch out a little bit more, whether that's branching out of the style of content that I'm making, but still related to Black Ops 6, or maybe branching out a bit more to some other games. Maybe I'll even consider doing some like Delta Force breakdown videos or something like that. Maybe I'll also share a little bit with my special project that I've been dabbling with for quite some time now. But just know, over the next month, the content on this channel may be a little bit different as we lead into Season 3. And with that, this is where I'm curious to hear from you guys in those comments down below. First up, how are you guys feeling about that little update we got today and the fact that the forward intel bug is still not fixed? And second, what are your thoughts on the delay for Season 3? If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.